Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming back in with a One Piece chapter 936. My thoughts, my impressions. Sporadically. I can't do One Piece every week, sometimes depending on time constraints and depending on how much I have to say about a chapter. But yo, man, I have a lot to say about this chapter. So, okay, I'm trying to figure out where to start with this one. I got lots of thoughts. So one thing I will definitely say first is Sanji got to accomplish his dream, and that's caused a little bit of controversy among communities. I went and checked out some various forums, and yeah, people are talking about it, not very happy with Sanji. And on my perspective, man, I'm not gonna lie, I wish Sanji was cooler. I wish Sanji didn't just bleed mountains or lagoons of blood. I wish Sanji didn't make really stupid faces. I wish a lot of things, but I'm not going to get those because Oda likes this gag. Now, as for Sanji accomplishing his actual dream, you know, to some degree, I'm happy that he kind of, like, he got something he wanted. But at the same time, I hope this doesn't become a habit. I hope that this is just a thing where he's realized, okay, I got it, and then after that, he doesn't do it again. But, yeah, who knows? It's Sanji. But yeah, man, like, pretty much, you know, it's always interesting when we see these controversies with the perverted characters. I guess just, this is, like, again, a thing of just the anime and manga media in general. Japan seems pretty, well, the Japanese creators seem pretty okay with this gag, and I guess they kind of grew up with it. I mean, my perspective on this one is always going to be, you know, keep what's in fiction, keep what's in real life in real life. And, you know, it's like the same thing where in fiction you can watch people attack or kill other people, and you understand that there's the boundary of fiction that separates that as being a good thing. And we know, like, violence is overglorified in fiction. It's like the same kind of species of thought, just I know this is acceptable within fiction, but not acceptable in real life. And I think most people get that, but it's always interesting when that debate pops up of just because it's in fiction doesn't mean it's any less wrong. But it's like the same way. It's not like we're not condemning this. It's like, again, I wish Sanji was a cool character, but I'm not going to get that because this is Sanji's dream. This is one of his dreams, and now he's pulled it off. That said, I'm happy that he was actually able to be useful after that. I'm happy that he was able to carry off the 3 girls out of there. I'm happy that he got brand recognition as both Germa 66 and Soba Mask. I'm happy that he also learned that Beppo and the others were kidnapped, or sorry, captured, because that was really good. It tells you that he was at least doing something useful while he was skulking around. And there is also kind of the funny thing in that Sanji went and peeped on a mixed bath, because it's like, Sanji, you didn't really have to go peep. So that was that. There's a little bit of humor in that, and Oda was also being kind of funny because the pose that Sanji takes when he falls, and it's the pose that I use in the thumbnail. That's the pose that Luffy took when he fell against Kaido. That's funny, all right? You can't lie. You can't lie, man. That was funny. That's a funny little reference there for Oda there. Now, that was pretty good. The next thing about the chapter that I enjoyed was, well, honestly, I loved the whole bath sequence was really good in general. I really liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that there was the happiness punch. I thought it was funny that even women nosebled for Nami. I thought it was funny that Drake can't take a naked body very well. I thought it was funny that both Drake and Hawkins fanboyed over Germa 66 Stealth Black. Come on, like, that was just a collection of good little moments there, even with Sanji being horrifically embarrassing and not being very cool. Okay, but moving on from that, the guy at the bridge with Zoro. I want to talk about this one because, as I found out, this is a reference from a Japanese folktale. I have a picture here of the actual tale itself, and the guy I'm going to zoom in on, this guy is the guy that Zoro is effectively fighting. And if you look at his weapons and you look at the weapons of the guy that we got in this chapter, they're pretty much the same. Well, not pretty much the same, but there's a few, like, connections there. I'm pretty sure if I looked around a little bit more, I could find a picture that matches the picture that we got in the actual manga. But here's the thing. In the folktale, as far as I was able to tell, this man was challenged by a young samurai, and the samurai beat him, and then this man joined up as his second guy. So, and the battle also took place on a bridge. So when you look at the chapter, what do we have? Well, Zoro is on a bridge and he's facing down with this guy. So this is pretty neat, man. That's pretty. It pretty much like kind of choreographs where this is going. Most likely Zoro's gonna beat him, and this guy's gonna join the team. And yeah. So that's pretty cool. I actually like that. That's a pretty cool reference, and I'm really glad that I was able to read about that before making this video. Very neat. Also, there's not many pictures on this video because copyright strikes. Just have to kind of lay low for a while. Anyway, next thing I want to talk about is just this whole thing with Luffy and the sumo wrestling. Now, it's kind of cool. It's cool that Luffy is fighting people, but I think there's like some serious problems here with the writing. I think like this is becoming kind of silly. It's stupid that villains continue to underestimate Luffy in a world where there are monsters as humans. In a world where Kaido exists, in a world where Queen exists, in a world where Doflamingo's whole family exists, and the red hair pirates exist. It's strange that people continue to do this. It's strange that people still continue to get shocked. And it's also really, really stupid that Kaido did not tell his commanders that, hey, Luffy has this really rare haki. Now, mind you, that one can be explained in Kaido not caring enough, but when you have these kind of communication problems within organizations, it's really a wonder that this organization is able to survive to the point it's able to survive. And heck, even in the case of the Kaido pirates, what's really interesting is that if they have these kind of communication problems, it implies that these guys are just so strong that they can afford to have these communication problems, which raises up the question of, if they know they can get to these levels of strength, why do they still think that they can get away with pulling these kind of shenanigans? Like, come on! You're putting Luffy in a sumo wrestling competition and you take off the sea stone handcuffs? How arrogant do you have to be? And it's like, oh no man, we're gonna put this collar on you, and it's like, guy, we live in a world, One Piece is a world where Sanji can go underwater and not be crushed by the pressure when he's almost at the ocean floor. It's a world where Zoro can move faster than a shark man. And you're telling me this is gonna fly, like this standard little like collar thing? And it's made worse because everyone points out Rayleigh got around one of these collars before. Mind you, it was an explosive collar that he got around before, and now here you have Luffy dealing with a blade collar. But in a world of hockey, where people can turn their their skin into iron, in a world where the Marines were able to do that before the time skip, CP9 was able to do that before a time skip, turning their body to steel, or, you know, doing their whole little techniques and things. Point is, you guys get it. You guys get what I'm saying. It's stupid that they think this is okay. It's stupid that they think that a new generation rookie that they have the information for, they know Luffy's bounty, they know Luffy messed with Doflamingo. It's stupid that they still do these little things. And so what my ultimate thesis here is with One Piece is that, I'm not gonna lie, I think Oda's writing is kind of slipping here. I think this has been a problem that's been occurring for a while in like smaller places, but it's just Oda, the way that he sets up obstacles for the Straw Hat Pirates doesn't make sense when you consider the Straw Hat Pirates' capabilities. Like, this bladed collar doesn't seem to be very appropriate given what we know the Straw Hats can do, and it doesn't seem very appropriate given that One Piece is a world where hockey can turn someone's body into armor. It's just every time that we go down one of these routes where, you know, in any other story that collar would mean something, like it would be an obstacle, like, oh no, main character is hooked up to a death collar, oh no, what's he gonna do, you know. In any other story, these things would be okay, but like they're not, these narrative devices, these plot devices aren't scaling with the character's capabilities. So you end up having just these really awkward moments, like Sanji kicking a cake up into the air and getting it on board, and people being shocked by that. And it's like, why are you shocked by that? Big Mom is right in your territory. You've seen what Big Mom can do. You've seen what Big Mom's children can do. Why is that strange? You know, it's things like this. Just the world and the people's reactions in the world do not make sense in the context of the powers available within the world. You know, this is just all setting up for like a narrative thing where Luffy's gonna be able to pull some tricks to get out of there, and it's just, it feels kind of cheap. Now, you know, this is getting to the point where I think it's gonna get worse as time goes on, because I just don't think Oda's scaling up properly. And it's weird because like there have been moments where Oda scaled properly, like the environmental threats to the Straw Hats. There's been times where he could do that. Like Punk Hazard was environmental threat all over, and he was able to do that really well. Like no one got away from that poison. But I guess then again, it was also a poison that was supposed to be good at knocking everyone out. And Sea Stone, in general, before this arc, was a good deterrent in general. Like the Sea Stone has been a strong environmental hazard that the One Piece crew has had to deal with. And the ocean as well is still a very good environment. Well, actually, I don't know. The New World, you know, we got told how horrible the New World was going to be, but then Nami got her upgrade, and her upgrade pretty much made it, so the New World's weather didn't matter. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. This case, though, I find it really weak. I find it stupid. I find it silly that Kaido's guys aren't more well-informed, or that they think that they can get away with just putting just a bladed collar onto Luffy when you have Kaido who doesn't get hurt, or Kaido who can tank most hits. It's interesting, you know, but this is one of those cases where I'm going to probably have to go back to the manga to actually see, like, are we actually having badly done obstacles serving as, you know, those roadblocks for Luffy and the gang. But those are my thoughts. That was the biggest issue I really had with the Luffy portion of the chapter. Like, overall, I think it's cool. It's still cool that Luffy's using his haki to affect things. And you know, I do want to, like, just put it out there. I know last chapter said that Luffy's not able to use haki very well, but then you have him using haki in this chapter relatively well. Mind you, you might be saying he can't use armament very well, and that's fair. But this is still, I think, like, just bad thinking on Queen's part. He, at the very least, should have left some variation of the Sea Stone cuffs on. There's no need for him to be fair about this in any which way. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Guys, let me know down below. Like, the big issue here is just villains continue to be villains that underestimate Luffy. We know this is the critical flaw in all the villains that we've encountered up to now. And it's just ridiculous that this continues happening. I do want to, like, add one more thing. You know, where we have Kaido's crew being really bad at this, Big Mom at least was able to do some really good punishments. So I appreciate that. So yeah, you know what? I see this arc, but then I bring up Big Mom and her deterrence, and it's like, yeah, alright. Although, I think Oda realized that he made bad deterrence for Big Mom. Or, you know, he didn't think out his deterrence for Big Mom, or he made Big Mom's deterrence too overpowered. Because really, the whole One Piece crew, or sorry, the whole Straw Hat crew should still be terrified of Big Mom sending people to the Baratie. Like, they should still be so terrified of that, but nah. Oda's just gonna slip that under the rug because he doesn't want us to worry about it because the narrative's over, or the story in that area is over. But honestly, there's no reason Big Mom shouldn't send assassins to kill Sanji's people. There's no reason that shouldn't happen. But yeah, you know, those are my thoughts. Guys, let me know what you thought down below. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day. Wait, and I want to just make sure, even though I'm criticizing it, this was still a fun chapter. I'm not sure if you guys could tell that over all the criticisms. But anyway, till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.